Not today! This isn't flying, this is falling with style. To infinity and beyond!
That's right, to infinity and beyond. And look, this is the Full Tilt Dynasty podcast, right? I'm your host with the most time on his hands, Tom Simple FF. To my right, right there is my main man, as always, Jakob Sanderson. And down below, we have Cody Carpentier making his debut on the Full Tilt Dynasty podcast. How are you doing, my man? We appreciate the short notice, as our man Billy, who's in the chat here, has some school to work on. So we're excited that you are able to find the time and hop on with the boys here.
Appreciate you, boys, for having me. This is a Friday night. Always good to be podcasting on a Friday night, relaxing, chilling.
What's it like to not be in Pacific time, but this is the night? This is like Friday morning out here.
I mean, it's like 7 p.m. right now. Just got done mowing the yard.
Oof.
Doing the damn thing. It's already starting to get dark out. Man, I don't even know. You guys are probably just midday right now, or what?
For me, no. Now it's getting dark here. I'm in the soon to be frozen wasteland that is Winnipeg.
We're all across the continent right now, man. We got East Coast time down in the bottom. We got Central time, the top left. I'm out here in Vancouver. It's a very Vancouver October day, so it's been pouring rain all day long.
Yeah.
I've been up here in my room working on my ranks. I tried to get up early to go for a jog, because I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be stuck doing my ranks, be stuck writing my article all day. I'm gonna try and get some weather early, like get some sun or whatever. I go downstairs, I walk outside, I just start getting pelted. I'm like, yeah, this is not gonna do today. This ain't gonna work.
This isn't it.
Yeah.
I just don't run. I just 220 pounds of no cardio. That's it for me. Look, the week was kind of crazy, and as the beauty of what I love doing this show on Friday for is that not only do we get to do like the last review of last week, but we get to see the shitstorm that happened afterwards. And oh my lord, with news dropping just before we went live, we're going to get in the do we give a shit? Right, we're going to get into that right away. Look, we got some fun stuff today. We got the video. We're bringing it back, right? It's been a minute, right? With the draft, we haven't had any, and I've been getting the messages, and I see the comments like, Tom, we need that video like you promised. I got it, okay? Bobbity boopy, we're going to get it on there. All right? And then, of course, we got a Billy Stat Corner subbing in. Jakob, no impression today, I don't think, but, I mean, the people do want to know.
You never know.
We never know. Okay, now, look. Lots to get into, but look, you've seen the news. There's like 20 articles, 100 articles out already, 672,000 live streams, and we appreciate that you're here with us. So what we're not going to do is bore you with the same news that you hear all the time. So what we like to do, Cody, is we just kind of like to run down the names and like pick apart what we kind of care about the most. Again, because there's a lot of great outlets out there for great info. So look, big news this week. Saquon, Galladay, that's not really shocker. Jones, Kittle, Juju, Clyde, and Chris Carson just announced on the IR. What do we care about here the most? I want to start with Jakob. What do you give a shit about here?
Yeah, I care about the Juju injury a lot just because of what it does for some other really exciting players. It's unfortunate for Juju, obviously. You never want to see anyone get a really serious season-ending injury. But in this situation in Pittsburgh, we get a glimpse into the future. I would be pretty surprised if Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler again next year. And that means Chase Claypool, who's one of the most exciting dudes that we have out there right now, gets to run all of the routes. I mean, we've been watching him continually get subbed off the field in 12 personnel so they can run Juju outside for reasons I'm unaware of. But now Chase Claypool is going to be out there. He's going to be running all those routes with Deontay Johnson. And Claypool earns targets, man. People just think that he's this downfield guy, sort of like a Mike Williams prior to this year, who they maybe throw it to him one in every 5 times. No, he earns targets. He gets about 25% targets every time he runs a route. Now he's going to be running a full route tree. I'm really excited about Claypool. And I'm a little bit excited to see what we get out of Pat Freiermuth as well over the rest of this year.
That's
He's
a
going to
big
play a
one.
lot more in 12 personnel. Eric Ebron is not it. He has probably never been it outside of one season in Indianapolis that I look back
that
on
would've
with
been-
glee.
Yeah.
I mean, there is not a lot of tight ends that matter, man. I was doing rankings today, my Dynasty ranks, which are pinned, and I got through like 8 tight ends, and I was like, fuck, I'm done with this. Like, it was like, I did the obvious top 7. I was like, okay, got it. You get your own tier now, actually. And I put Freiermuth 9 because I was like, I actually don't care about anyone else.
Yeah.
So let's just maybe this guy. So I'm excited about his future too, and Claypool. And of course, Deontay's going to kill him, but he's already been killing him.
I mean, only 2 targets last week, and Claypool went down. I thought that was actually one of the strangest things that happened in that game. But they were also actually able to run the ball, so that probably had a little more to do with it. Shout out to Andrew John, who's hopping in from the YouTubes. Yo to you as well. Cody, is there a name on that list that stands out the most that really makes you give a shit?
I mean, I'm just going to say Kittle for now because I liked seeing that he's getting healthy. He's going to let himself get healthy. Whereas, like, you see Hawkinson up in Detroit. I love Hawkinson. I think we all did coming into the season. And he's got like this nagging knee injury, and they're just not letting him get right, which scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Kittle, I like that. Give him 3 weeks. Let him get healthy. Let him come back. I actually was in the Warrior Bowl this year, and I just literally a dude dropped George Kittle last week the minute the IR news came out, and I was like,
Kittle.
It's a calf injury, bro. It wasn't a torn ACL. So I actually dropped 95% of my fab, and I got Kittle in the Warrior Bowl. So I got Hawkinson, Pitts, and Kittle right now in that, and I'm pretty excited. So, I mean, Kittle's the one that sticks out to me.
All right, that's fair. For me, look, I didn't mention him there, but I just wanted to mention how disappointed I am that Cephas is done. The guy was actually playing really well. He was getting the targets. He was getting shots downfield. He showed some explosion, which I personally didn't expect from him at all. He had the ability to break away. Now he's getting shut down. It just really sucks. We don't know what his next year projection is going to be. I mean, it's pretty sus.
Tough.
Man, that Lions wide receiver room is absolutely bleak.
And Perriman couldn't even make the cut.
No, Perriman didn't even make the roster. That's how dusty he is. And I was excited about Cephas. You know, I liked him. I liked watching him at Wisconsin. He's a guy who's really just a technician, right? Like, he's like a 4.7 guy. So that's not usually what you see on the outside unless you really know what you're doing, unless you really know how to manipulate defenders. I liked him. I am excited about the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yes, come on strong.
I mean, he's finally come on now. I mean, I shouldn't say finally. He was like 4th, 5th week of his rookie season. But I think that a lot of people were expecting him to come in and lead in targets on that wide receiver room.
30% target share, bro.
He is getting targets the last 2 weeks. I know Cody mentioned Hawkinson's been beat up. They can't throw to Swift on every single play. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, all of a sudden, he led their team in routes last week. He led their team in targets last week. He's like a little bit interesting now, I think, as a deep flex option. And of course, in Dynasty, you know, you're monitoring him. He moved up my ranks a little bit. I'm excited.
Hard not to be, yo. Look, we got a quick question right in here. We're going to get to these as they pop up, so long as it fits the time. Bed rest season stash in all formats. DJ Dallas, Jarrett Patterson, Jerick McKinnon, McNichols. Appreciate y'all. Happy Friday, boys. Best rest of season in all formats. Oh, my Lanta.
Between all these dudes?
Yeah, I would start off. I think it's between DJ and Patterson for me, and I would lean DJ just a hair because Carson's out already.
I'll say Patterson because I just think if the season goes down the tubes, I mean, they're like Gibson's playing with a freaking fractured shin, so we'll see how that holds up. I think that, I mean, sounds like he's going to play through it, and he's been moderately effective at least. But let's say that this season really starts to go down the tubes. Let's say that they're like 6-9 or something. The last few games, there's no way they're going to play Gibson with a stress fracture in his shin to finish out the season. So I bet Patterson finds himself some action. I
think I like the Patterson call a lot.
And that's what Andrew just said right there. Carson on our Gibson can go down any second. Yeah, I'm personally gonna go DJ Dallas, even though I dislike him as a player. He's kind of the best all around back they have outside of Carson, I think. So
I like Alex Collins.
Yeah, the situation's already open. That's the only reason
you know my love for Alex Collins. I hate that the Ravens let him go for fumbling issues. Garbage, trash.
I feel so bad for the poor petty people that have been holding on to hope for no reason for years. And Carson goes down and Penny's on IR at the same time. Like, those people's penny bags are just being left at the doorstep one more time.
It was meant to be, right? It's just how it was meant to be for them. Look, that was it for the news. Other than, look, it's Herbert season. Enjoy it, love it, embrace it. One more question before we move on here. In a dynasty, would you trade Jalen Hurts for Clyde? I have Kyler in a 1 QB league. Oh, if it's a 1 quarterback league, I don't care about a second quarterback.
1 quarterback
personally.
league, absolutely. Goodbye, Jalen.
Yeah, I just 1 quarterback. You don't need 2. It's fine. Do that up. That's a pretty quick, easy smash.
But I would also say if the other guy doesn't have a good quarterback, if you can get a little better than Clyde too, I might try to get a
try to squeeze him a little bit more,
Yeah.
right? That's kind of always the play, but
that's the thing. I'm not what Jacob just muttered. He's like, I don't really want Clyde. I don't really want Clyde either. That's why I would say, like, what else does this guy have? Is there another guy that needs a quarterback more? I think the process is there to do it, but
I think in this situation, the guy's just trying to get rid of Clyde because it was a disaster and he's injured now. So I think that's why he's willing to trade him for a quarterback. I think if you poke and pride a little too much, it might go south. So try it, but if the resistance is there, I would take that trade for sure.
Gibson and CH. Try Gibson. Stress fracture or no stress fracture, I would definitely prefer Antonio Gibson than Clyde if you can get Gibson. Even if you have to toss him a little bit extra on top, I feel a lot better about Gibson's longer-term prospects.
100%. Yep, 100%. Look, when we come back, we're going to do Billy's Stat Corner. If you've never seen Billy's Stat Corner, or like Cody, have never played Billy's Stat Corner, we're going to hook it up. Jacob is filling in, as I had mentioned, and he's got another trivia for us. Look, it's 12-4 right now. Billy's got the advantage. I'm going to use Cody's big stat brain over there with the player profiler background and all that. He's going to help me get a big W against Jacob here, kind of like how the Ravens took down the Colts on Monday. That's number 1, baby! All right, Billy Stat Corner is a really simple game. Jacob's going to hit us with a question. Normally would be Billy. Can't stress that enough. He's going to hit us with a question. Cody and I have got 3 strikes. We get one hint at this question. So, Jacob, hit us with it today.
All right. Well, first off, I didn't know that I was doing this segment until about 5 minutes before we went live. So I'm just going to say that there's a legitimate chance we've made a mistake in the tallying of the data. I think that's in play. I want to say that first off.
He's setting himself up for an appeal right at the gate.
Number 2, I'm not sure why I keep adding wins for Billy when he doesn't show up to shows, and then I stump you guys, and I just keep tallying wins in his corner. It just seems a little bit unfair. Anyway, here's the question.
Because we're objective. That's why.
I put out a tweet last night in my fit of rage after watching Nick Sirianni airlift a Pac-12 offense onto Thursday Night Football. And I said that Miles Sanders just averaged over 6 yards per carry against the Bucs, the best run defense in the NFL. And yet he is still averaging less carries on the season than the Tony Pollard playing as the Cowboys' backup. And so my question today is, Tony Pollard is one of 5 running backs in the NFL who do not lead their own team in carries and whose starters haven't gotten injured and still have more carries per game than Miles Sanders. So you're looking at 4 running backs plus Tony Pollard. Pollard's one of the 5. So 4 other running backs. They don't lead their own team in carries, and it's not like Chuba. It's not like the guy got hurt. They're just actually the backup. And they still have more carries per game than Miles Sanders because the Eagles do not want to run the ball.
One's got to be Cordero Patterson.
No, he's been getting not in the carries.
Passes.
He's been getting all the passes. So it's not Patterson. That's 1 strike.
Okay.
You guys got to work together here. You guys got to work together.
Something about this has to be like a trick question. Like, could it be like a Latavius Murray? Right? Is he the starter?
Is that technically a backup?
I'm not okay. The way I'm not talking about starter backup. I'm saying not leading their team in carries.
Oh, okay.
But it's not like Peyton Barber. It's not Chuba. Like the guy whose starter got injured, I excluded them. It's a person who's naturally second on their team in carries. Like they play both running backs. One dude gets less carries than the other.
Okay, that's interesting. Oh man. I mean, it can still be Latavius Murray. Lamar Jackson's still a running back.
I'm not counting the quarterbacks. Get out of here.
Okay, I had to try.
Not doing any janky shit like that.
I had to try.
Cooks missed 2 games So what's that put Madison at? Madison's got to be close.
Right, but it's not players that got hurt.
Yeah, nobody you got it because of injury.
It can't because of an injury bump. Right? In the chat we got that's my 4 guesses. We got Kareem Hunt, James Conner. That's not bad.
Hunt's definitely one of them.
You think?
think
Okay,
so.
we'll go Kareem Hunt. He's pretty confident in that.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, Hunt.
Okay, that's one. That's one. We're G. What about the Connor and Chase Edmonds? That's not bad. No injuries there. Okay, this is tough, yo. You've made this pretty. I got to admit,
what do you consider
James Conner?
So, do you consider James Conner or Chase Edmonds as starting back there?
Well, essentially, the question is how many backfields have 2 running backs with more carries than Miles Sanders, and then you got to pick which. That's really the question.
Okay.
Because it's so like if whoever has more, I'm only counting if the other one, right? So you gotta. That's really what it's about.
Okay, that's legit. Two
But
running backs that outdo. What about like Jamal Williams? Right? Like what about Detroit? Wouldn't they both have more than Miles Sanders? I would think.
Because
like
he had a
Swift
couple
and Jamal Williams.
Who has right?
Who has the most carries? It'd be Jamal Williams, I would think. Right?
Yeah.
Jamal Williams has more carries than Swift.
I think Jamal Williams has more carries than Swift.
Okay,
right, so then your guess would be Swift. You see how this works?
Yeah. Okay,
okay.
Do it. Swift.
Yes, DeAndre Swift is one of them.
Let's go.
And he actually technically is the backup because for whatever reason they give Jamal the first snap of every game.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Okay, that's not bad.
Right, so we got 2. We need 2 more.
No, we need one more.
Got 2.
We need one more. We have 2.
I thought we needed 4.
No,
so let's use our hint.
2 more, dude.
Let's use our hint.
Give us the hint. Give us the hint.
Give you the hint.
Yeah.
All right. So
we're gonna take it, even though we're up.
Okay, you got Hunt down. You've got Swift down.
Yep.
Right. Okay, so trying to think of a hint here that would apply to both. Actually, yeah. Here's a hint.
Oh.
It would apply to at least one of the two. So while the leading carry getter in all of these instances has played in every game, right? Like I said, there's nobody that's been injured. The other 2 remaining have also not been injured, although one of them has not played in every game.
Injured, but one of them hasn't played in every game. Is this like a Tyson?
No, this is a inactive. Was Moss? But Moss probably has more. Does Moss have more carries than Singletary?
Well, we've got I don't think so. That first game would have given him an edge. But in the chat, we have a Melvin Gordon and Javonte. Okay, Andrew is screaming for Zach Moss and Melvin Gordon. We get 2 more strikes, so we can pick Zach Moss if you'd like and go that way.
Let's go Moss. First.
Let's
we
go
got 2
Bills,
strikes.
Bills backfield Moss.
All right, Zach Moss is correct.
That's it.
All right, you
That's
just need one more. You need one more.
That's 3.
That's 3. There's 4 names.
That's what I thought. I thought there was 4th one. Oh my god.
Yeah. But you still have 2 strikes.
We only ever do this in 3s. He's changing the game.
The beauty
going with
4.
4.
Because I got told to do this segment live on air.
All right, okay.
Look, here's the beauty of it.
Look,
you got 2 guesses left. So even if you get the right backfield, you don't even have to guess the right dude because you can guess them both.
So it's got, in my opinion, it would have to be Denver, right? Because there's the only 2 that has 2 starters that have gotten 8 to 10 carries a game.
Yeah, because they've been splitting almost the way, so
50-50, the same opportunities.
I think Melvin's got more carries. I think Melvin's got more carries by a little.
I do
edge.
too. Yeah, I do too.
So I think Javonte's only out carried him once, but it wasn't only by 1. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I would. Yeah. So then the answer's got to be Javonte. It's got to be Javonte.
Let's do Denver Javonte.
Javonte Williams is correct. You guys have solved this back corner. Zach Moss, Javonte Williams, Tony Pollard, Kareem Hunt, and who was the other dude that I said? Whoever. Moss, yeah. So 5 different backfields have given 2 dudes more carries than Philly can sum it up for Miles Sanders. It's embarrassing. It's malpractice. It's aggravating.
It's malpractice coaching. Shout out to everyone here.
Next year, you ought to use to
Dipesh Patel and
reconsider his
Andrew.
life choices, man. That guy drives me nuts.
Andrew is hype. Let's go. That's what's up. That's a big win. It doesn't happen,
Go,
as you
AJ.
can tell by the score, but we're turning this franchise around. Look, we're going to take a quick second like we do. When we come back, we're going to get into the heart of the order, right? And we're going to talk about players that we've been waiting for them to hit their ceiling, and now they're off to infinity and beyond, or at least so it appears. Sit tight. It's only going to be a couple seconds, Jacob. And when we come back, we're going to rip into it. All right, let's go. Okay, look, every draft season, every rookie draft, we always have our guys that we're like, no matter what, this is going to hit, and it's going to hit right away, immediately, clear shot, no doubt, guaranteed, it's a lock. And then some players don't really hit that ceiling for a while. I feel like this year, it's kind of been an awakening for a lot of players. Now, whether that's been coaching changes, right? System changes, very important, or injuries, it has opened the door for some players. So we're going to open that up. Jacob, I want to start with one of your players that you feel we've been waiting for their ceiling. They've hit their ceiling, and now it looks like it's a nonstop ride all the way to the top.
Yeah, man. Look, this one, I'm wearing the L. I'm wearing it. Hardcore. Is this the right way to put it? Yeah. Big L for me. It's Hollywood Brown. Look, I was saying all off season, I was like, you guys, you're underrating Lamar as a passer. The dude can pass. I remember I put out a tweet that went all over the place. I named a bunch of shitty ass quarterbacks who produced a wide receiver one. I was like, y'all are sure Lamar can't do this? But that was all because I was waiting for who they were going to draft. That was pre-draft. I was waiting for Bateman, for Marshall, for Elijah Moore, for Smith, for any of these dudes to go into Baltimore and dominate. And then they took Bateman. I was so excited. I was all over Bateman. I was all over them passing more. Of course, he gets hurt, and what I didn't realize is the wide receiver one has been there the whole time. Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown. Like, I don't know what Bart Scott is saying on cable, but on this show, we got to put respect on Hollywood's name, man. So he's been out there balling. He's been earning 25% of the target share for a long time. He's keeping that up now on a much larger scale. Lamar is looking like a legitimate top half in the NFL passer, not just quarterback, not just runner, but passer. He's always does his best work deep. And right now, I mean, I did my rankings today, and I can't believe I'm doing this. It's certainly not Rashad Bateman's fault. He hasn't done anything wrong. But I put Hollywood above Bateman right now in the Dynasty ranks, and it's on Bateman to come back and turn it around. So I love Rashad Bateman. I'm super excited for what he could do, with Lamar. But Hollywood Brown has been getting it done. And I think that he has a legitimate ceiling to be, a wide receiver one for the next few weeks, especially before Bateman gets his footing, and potentially a wide receiver two in fantasy for a very long time.
Right. I mean, I wrote about this, right? I've only written 3 articles in my life, and my first one was why Hollywood Brown's last season stretch could continue this year, right? We always talk about defensive variance on this show. We never know, right? This is the worst defense I've ever seen as a Ravens fan. Right. I remember watching Gerbach play quarterback. I remember those teams. I am that old. And this is the worst defensive unit I have ever had to witness. Their wins are acts of God, no doubt. So, yeah, of course he's going to have to throw the ball more. Of course. Right. And I tweeted at the end of the first half of that game, I was like, Greg Roman's still going to try to run the ball because he's stubborn. And he didn't. He said, screw that. It was check downs and Hollywood Brown. So for me, I agree with you. I think there's no reason why you can't have a wide receiver 15 plus type season, especially the way injuries have been, right? Key guys are missing weeks all the time. He seems to be healthy. Bateman's going to eat more into Watkins. I agree with you here. Cody, anything to add?
No, just that Bateman now, they said today he's activated officially. He's going to be playing, and then Watkins is out this weekend. So, yeah. I mean, Bateman's going to...
You know how Sammy Watkins' hamstring injuries go. They last for years, months.
He's already done, and it sucked. He was good. He's putting up like
Every
50
year.
receiving yards a game. Like he was
Yeah.
actually being consistent for once, which is weird. But I mean, they are going to have to come back from 55 points down after the first half against the Chargers this weekend. So we're going to have to see the points. Cody, who do you have that you want to mention? It looks like they're finally hitting their high potential ceiling we've been waiting for.
I'm gonna throw out Cordero Patterson in there because I know you guys didn't have him on your list, and he's been a guy as a Vikings fan that I grew up, and it was like this dude has all the tools. Everyone was this was back when Christian Ponder, after that whole area when he came in, but it was like this could be the next Randy Moss type guy where he can actually change this offense, and he didn't do jack shit other than return 105-yard kicks every week, and it was like, all right, this is awesome, but there's nothing here. And the offense was not creative, and he makes a couple trips around different teams, and now he's in Atlanta, and they have completely unlocked Cordero Patterson, and I love it, and I'm shook by it because he just hit 60% snap share this last week against the Jets. Before that, he hadn't crested 45%. So I was like, this is ridiculous. And now you see them giving the ball more and more, and he's already the RB, 3 right now? And I mean, there's more here. Like if they just keep ramping him up even more and more, and then imagine if something happens to Mike Davis, or we saw Ridley was already out. Like he feels like the guy that can be plugged in everywhere. And he said there was an interview with somebody from PFF the other day, and he's like, don't even try to put me at a spot. I'm not a running back. I'm not a receiver. I'm an athlete. So when he already has that mindset, it's like, I can do everything on the field, and he has the confidence to do that and the explosiveness. Like, I'm in on Cordero, and there's a lot of things on Twitter that people were like, should I sell him high? Should I sell him high? It's like Larky did a video. He's like, you should be buying Cordero right now because people are trying to get out of him because they feel like it's a fluke, but it just seems like this team's going to suck and he's just going to keep getting the ball. So see the ceiling,
it's here. It's here to stay. I like it. Look, I traded
for 2021. For 2021.
Right. And that's what's important too to note. Like Jacob kind of roasted me because I traded Damian Harris for Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, I am.
And he's like, "Oh, you bought Cordero? Oh, it's garbage, trash. He's gonna help me win this year." Damian Harris is about to lose his job to Bolden and Stevenson when he keeps fumbling and gets hurt.
Hey.
I'm just
not the Bolden. Like no one's losing their job to Bolden unless you're trying to play gunner.
But I mean,
he has
the 2021 really legitimate game winning league winning potential, especially if he was free or if you're getting him for cheap, like Damian Harris, right? He's not really going to help you win right now. Probably watch. He's going to come back and score like 4 touchdowns just to spite me. Right. But look, I agree with that. I actually like Patterson. I know Andrew's posted this twice, so he really wants to get the info. So Andrew, John, I saw Cody mention Tyreek.
Yeah, you name dropped some sources. You said you had sources.
If he's out, of my options are if he's out, my options are Christian Kirk, Bourne, Beasley, or Paris Campbell.
I just want to know, Cody, before you answer the question. Like, were you calling the KCPD? Were you pulling a little Kluge action?
Oh
no, this is straight up. I can't obviously drop my source publicly, but I do honestly. This is honest to God because I had a lot of people in my comments. I dropped this tweet yesterday, and then I dropped an Ertz tweet this morning that was actually from a source prior to it happening, like 40 minutes before Schefter. Not to toot my own horn, but I was there. I knew it was happening. Whatever. And I got called like, oh, that's fake. That's BS. And then a couple hours later, there's this Tyreek Hill thing. And I got a lot of BS hate on that too. But this is an actual source. Is he going to be someone I go back to in the coming weeks? It looked like Tyreek practiced today. And the news was he was bouncing around. There's some other things I can tell you guys later. But I'm optimistic. I think he's going to play now. It seems like he's going to play based on what now we're seeing. So I'm not very happy with my guy. But
practice today, but
yeah, he practiced. That's the thing is, I'm not going to say a lot here, but
he's trying to keep it cool. I love it.
I think it's still up in the air, but to answer your question, Andrew, if he doesn't play, I'd go Kirk here. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't press all the way to Paris Campbell. I think I'd rather trust Kirk. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm again. I don't I don't trust the Tyreek thing, but I want to see if he's active.
This is
Fair.
your 1 week to play Christian Kirk because Ertz is not allowed to play twice in 1 week. And so they don't have any tight ends. Max Williams is out. They can't play Ertz. So the 10 personnel Cardinals are going to be back for 1 week, 1 week only. So this is your week to play Kirk and Rondale.
100p. Look, for me, the players, it's pretty simple. For me, it's DeAndre Swift here, right? Give me 1 second. I got to change that.
And you used to not be a big Swift guy. You were never as big on Swift.
I know.
Back in the day.
Look, a lot of things that we see here that I've been waiting for personally on DeAndre Swift, and it was his usage on the ground. How good I'm gonna take, like, we're here to take L's today, and I'm taking an L on it's the Lions. Their team is bad. He'll be bad. He can't be good. Blah blah blah. That was me. Jacob made fun of me for this relentlessly, which fair enough. You had the right to be, but this year, absolutely unbelievable. 275 yards after contact, 19 evaded tackles. That's 1.5 per game. He had almost a 12% juke rate, right? He's getting almost a 50% snap share. He's done well with it. 114 carries, 521 on the ground, right? And then his through the air is outrageous for what he's done. So we were waiting for it. He's getting the usage. He's got the opportunity. He's scoring. He has some of the most red zone, right, touches in the game right now. He's hitting the ceiling that you want. I'm all in at this point. There's no hedging the bets. He right now looks like the best back in that class, right? I think I'm finally ready to put him above Taylor myself, just as a complete back, even with the split usage. So, guys, what do you think here? Has he finally hit that spot where you're willing to put him up there in that round 1, early 2 draft slot?
Jacob, you go first.
Yeah, man. So he's back where he was a long time ago so back pre-2020 actual NFL draft. DeAndre Swift was my number 1 running back in that class, and then but it was really, really close between him and Taylor. So certainly with the landing spot difference between Taylor going in behind Quentin Nelson and being on my team, especially after he lit up the combine with that 4.39, he really pulled away. But now it's back to Swift for me. He's only behind McCaffrey and Barkley, and I mean, geez, it's even getting harder to rank those guys at the top since they never play games. But it's Swift at 3 right now and Taylor at 4 for me. The reason is just Swift's role. It's just so much less anxious to watch the game because I know that he's going to get the passing work no matter what. If they lose, he's going to be fine. If they win, he's going to be fine. I mean, I love Jonathan Taylor. I think that he is the best running back in that class from a real life perspective. I just can't handle it anymore. I mean, he's still my RB4 overall in Dynasty. It's not like I'm like selling him. It's just I truly cannot handle the trials and tribulations of watching Colts games where if they lose, then he's just scripted out because they just play Hines. Or he'll break off an 80-yard touchdown, and the next drive they come out and it's fucking Marlon Mack. Like I can't take it anymore. It drives me insane.
Right.
And it's just Taylor has to luck box his production a lot more because he doesn't get his consistent pass game work. He also loses rushing work. He loses goal line carries to Hines. And while Swift loses a lot of touches to Williams, he always loses the least valuable touches. Like he's giving up these early down carries between the 20s that I don't really care about. That frankly, they probably just put you at higher risk of getting hurt.
Yes.
So I just really like Swift's touch profile right now. And certainly, I mean, I'm all in on him. He's my most rostered running back anywhere in Dynasty.
Right, and I just realized I misread Maddie's info here, so sorry about that, Maddie. I ruined it. That was his 2020 stats. Right now, it even looks even better now that I get to adjust and correct it. As he has 68 plus % snap share, right? 18.2 fantasy points per game, 96 yards after contact is now I can read, right? And the juke rate's still high up there at 20%. Number 1 in the league with 29 receptions and number 2 in receiving yards, 252, right? 357 yards created. This is an elite running back, always, now that I have what I was trying to read, correct. Cody, where are you with Swift? Has he hit that top 3 echelon for you, or are you still, he's not quite there?
Yeah, I came into the season with him at 6 in Dynasty, and like you guys, Taylor was at 1. I like Gibson a lot more than the average person, and I've always had him right there next to Taylor. Swift is in that area though now, like just seeing how Washington's using Gibson and his health and just a lot of question marks in that situation. The Taylor situation, Swift is like the one that's gained steam on the whole entire group. Him and Najee Harris. Najee's one that I put right up there next to him because of the actual usage, the snap share, etc. And people just with him in the backfield. Like obviously, a lot of people know my love for Jamar Jefferson still in that backfield, which sucks that he went there. Jamal Williams is still there. I think Jamal Williams is actually questionable this weekend. I think that's what pulls him back even. But at the same time, what is he right now? RB 6, 7. So the upside, I think he can even climb more. And that's what you're saying, infinity and beyond. Like he has that number one upside, like we saw with McCaffrey. And that's why coming into the season, people were like, this is like a Kamara situation. I was like, this is like a McCaffrey situation. The team is ass. And he can come in here and garner 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 targets a game. And you can already see him right now, 11, 5, 7, 6, 6 in targets with Jamal Williams. So
yes,
I think if you don't have him in your top 3, you're doing it wrong. And I mean, just based on future opportunities, you have to.
It is.
I mean,
so
you look at
to
Andrew's
me.
statement at the bottom. What's the difference between Swift this year and rookie year 2 Kamara with Mark Ingram and Jamal Williams?
Exactly.
And touchdown luck. Right.
Can you believe that we got to draft DeAndre Swift in like round 4 in best ball?
Couldn't
Like
believe it.
that was always like I just couldn't stop pressing the button. That was always the most insane ADP that I can really remember. Frankly, since McCaffrey's year 2 when he was a round 3 pick, I was like, why is Christian McCaffrey a round 3 pick? He could be the RB1 overall. He's going to catch a million balls. That's what matters. So I'm all in for sure with Swift, and all in this week. I came up with this stat, and I just keep dropping it on every podcast that I'm on. But 4 of the 5 teams that have played the Cincinnati Bengals this year, they either set or they tied their year-long high in targets for running backs when they played the Bengals. In total, they've given up 46 targets. The only team in the entire NFL that has targeted their running backs more than 46 times is the Detroit Lions. They get him this week. DeAndre Swift is going to eat in an absolutely sick matchup, and Jamal Williams came down with an illness. He's questionable. We might get him fully unleashed, maybe with a little splash of Jamar Jefferson for Cody.
I think the most impressive thing is you're seeing some of the plays here where he's spread out wide and they're setting up screens for him, running the slants on the inside. These are the things that we really wanted to see in his rookie year, and they just refused. So Anthony Lynn is in full effect. Also, what up to Coach Craig? He's hopping in here. Appreciate that guy. That guy works his tail off every week. So that's it for me. That's Swift, and this is the play, right? This is the truck.
Bashad Breeland just eats it, dude.
Like
eats it.
I posted that, and Jacob was like, "I didn't even see that." Like that.
I did not know. I saw people tweeting about it, but I didn't catch that play live because you know how it is at noon. I'm watching like every million game at the same time, and dude, I mean, I knew a lot of stuff that Swift had. I did not know he had that in him. Like I didn't see that.
It was super impressive. So last thing I just want to ask: rest of season, DeAndre Swift is running back what, Jacob?
I'm gonna say 7. It's
from here to the end of the season.
Yeah, and I'm just say like points per game. So with health and stuff, like give me Henry for sure. Give me McCaffrey when he's healthy, Barkley when he's healthy, Cook, Kamara. And then Jones, Eckler, and Najee. So maybe 9. Maybe 9's where it's at. He's right there. He's right there for me with like Eckler and Zeke, and not like he's right in that tier with those guys.
Okay, Cody. Rest of season, DeAndre Swift is RB.
Henry, Najee, Swift, Eckler, tied, then Zeke. No McCaffrey.
Okay. I can vibe with that. I'm closer with Cody than I am with Jacob on this. Fantastic player. Jacob, you have another player. Sorry, you want to go ahead?
I was just going to say with the McCaffrey thing, I know people will hate that. And even like Cook is out of there. Jones, I don't have in there, but that's strictly, I mean, I've been on this Chuba thing for a minute and it was based on this. How Carolina is handling this whole situation. As you can see, I talked about it on Undercovered Ops last week, was like you saw Clyde immediately to IR. They don't even question it. Kansas City's in a worse situation than Carolina is. Carolina needs to just rack wins up. Kansas City at least has the talent where Kansas City's sitting at 2 and 3 now. They could put Clyde on the IR, let him get healthy. That's what Carolina should be doing.
Not as big of a loss. by the way.
It's not as big of a loss.
Clyde.
And I get he's the feature, but still, like, you need him to be 100%. You don't need a 75% Christian McCaffrey to go out there. We saw this deja vu last season. He got injured. You rush him back. He gets injured again. It's a lost season. Like, do we need to replay this again? Like, especially on a good team. Like, you can expect them to rest him for sure. You need, like, they're in a situation. The Saints are not very good. Atlanta's not good. It's them and Tampa in that division. You're not going to win the division, but you have a very good chance of making the wild card, and they're going to piss it away because they're going to play around with McCaffrey. But yeah, that's kind of why I'm kind of just like phasing McCaffrey out completely. And it's kind of the reason I'm lower on Cook right now.
It's a smart move.
Right? I'm feeling the same way about Cook right now because Madison is playing his way into snaps.
He looks so good.
Hubbard, wow. Canadian GOAT Chuba could be working his way into legitimate snaps even when McCaffrey's back. So something to look for those running backs that get, the 80% touch rate. Jacob, the other player you wanted to mention was who?
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously no one had any doubts about what this guy was capable of coming into the season. To me, he is now in a tier of one. I dropped the Dynasty ranks. And I've been saying all summer, I was like, look, there's like 6, 7, 8 wide receivers to the top. Shuffle them all around. That still applies to me from wide receivers tier 2 through 9. But at the top of my wide receiver ranks, there's one name in one tier, and it's Justin Jefferson. He's up there. He's commanding an alpha target share. Once again, even with Thielen there, with them getting the running backs, the tight ends involved, he's up over 40% of the air yards. And he's the only guy that marries the best of both worlds. In any given week, Justin Jefferson could be the wide receiver one on the entire slate, and it wouldn't surprise you in the slightest. And he's got the youth over everybody, right? So he's in both buckets. He's not that far behind the Adams, the Hill, the Diggs in the production. And he's, just has got even more youth than, DK and AJ. He's right there with Lamb, younger than DJ Moore, younger than everybody on there except for Jamar Chase. He's had 7 games in just 1 year, and now a month? 7 games of 7 catches or more. Lamb's only had 4 of those. AJ Brown, DK Metcalf had 5 of those combined. So to me, like, he's really has separated himself. He's never had the opportunity to play with a truly elite quarterback like so many of these other top dynasty wide receivers. I love Kirk Cousins. I have a Kirk Cousins jersey. You can do a lot worse than Kirk Cousins. Don't get me wrong. You can do a lot worse than Kirk Cousins. You can also do a little better than Kirk Cousins. So, you can do a little bit of both. So I'm all in on Jay Jets. He's sort of the one dude that if I actually have to add a little bit of extra to any of those other stud wide receivers to get him, I honestly would. I've enjoyed the pleasure of watching him play football every snap this year.
Well, and there were people also, What Up Dynasty Vipers Network hosting this show on their YouTube channel right now. We appreciate them for giving us that space. Much love to Matt Donnelly and the crew. Go and hit up the site there, dynastyvipers.com. Look, there were people that said Justin Jefferson was a fluke, right? There's no way he repeats this. Adam Thielen's, that's always the argument. Right?
They can't
Cody,
watch football.
Do you feel the same way as Jacob on this? Justin Jefferson is the wide receiver one. There's no question. Best asset. Go.
He's there. I wouldn't say it's as clear cut.
Okay, that's non-committal. All right.
Yeah, I get it. I get the premise. Like, I love Cousins more than a lot of people do in Minnesota. Being from Minnesota, I see him a lot more, but I also see the toxicity that the fans bring towards him. I think that's not due for him. But the Jefferson thing, like, he's top 3, like Swift, hands down. I think it's between him, Chase. I don't have Lamb in that same spot because I don't think the situation is going to be as nice. But fair for me, I would just nudge Chase right. I love Chase so much. Chase looks so good. The
Chase
connection
is my number
is
2. He's my number 2.
See, exactly. The connection is there, and that's kind of the only thing was like, are they going to pick up where they left off? Boom, and we saw how explosive and how crazy Justin Jefferson went last year, and I tweeted a couple weeks ago. But the rate, the pace that Chase was on was just what Jefferson was doing last year. So it's like, we're set up pretty nice for the next 10 years. I know that. So I can't argue against Jefferson, but I mean, we're sitting pretty nice with Jefferson, Lamb, Chase, even AJ Brown. I know that was the guy that a lot of people liked preseason. I loved him. DK Metcalf,
they're all going to get it figured out. I don't know about Metcalf with Geno Smith, but he'll get it figured out when Rhodes comes back.
I'll say there's only two things, Jacob, that I dislike about these tiers with your wide receivers. One, DJ Moore is at 9. That's no, you got to have him up.
Over who, dude? Like
that's
elite.
That's a tough thing.
Like
I put him over
9
Lamb right now.
Preseason, and I went into my ranks, so I had him 9 preseason. People said I was crazy.
I have him over AJ, but that's me. I was not an AJ guy.
That's fine. So I had him 9 preseason, which was hella high. Like that's about as high as you could find in most of the industry. And I went in, I was like, all right, I'm excited to move DJ Moore up. And then I stared at all the names. I was like, I love all these guys too. So I don't know. I'm in the tier. I mean, it's a tier 2 to 9. There's a drop off. So basically, what I'm saying is, if you put him 2, I'm not mad about it. I
agree. I know. We know about tiers, right? But I'm just saying, DJ Moore is Bay. It was very hard for me not to pick him in this because I wouldn't shut up about it. Like, I already don't shut up about him and Darnold enough on this show. Pete, I just didn't want to see just dropping viewers that fast like he does every other time. Cody, a second player. Dear God, the second player you want to talk about today that looks like they have finally hit their ceiling and are taking off. Who do you got there?
We're digging deep at tight end preseason. I don't even have to. He was not getting drafted very much at all. 18th, 17th round on Underdog, ADP of 212. Tight end number 3, Dawson Knox. This tight end 3 spot last year belonged to Robert Tonyan, and we all know the touchdown rate that he was on last year. And this year,
rest in peace, Robert.
Fart noises, fart sounder.
Kidding.
But Knox this year, touchdown each of the last 4 games. And he's got that connection with Allen, which is the biggest thing. They're both young. You love Knox. Just turned 25 years old next month. He's in a weird comparable family on Player Profiler. It's Blake Jarwin, Eric Ebron, Ben Watson. But I think I know he's a premier athlete compared to those guys when you look at the metrics and stuff. So 3rd round draft capital. What Dawson Knox has done is, we do this every time to ourselves, right? It's like the Freiermuth thing. We all want Freiermuth to go. I think Freiermuth is going to go this year. He's not going to hit. And it's like, you just need to drill it into myself that he's not going to happen because these guys always take 2-3 years. Knox is a prime example. It's like the first 2 years, he averages 5 points a game. Year 3, boom. That's right. That's the exciting thing with some of these tight ends, but it's just the patience that just like runs out on us. And then right when we're like, all right, I'm done. I'm not drafting Dawson Knox. Then he comes in and he's tight end 3. And it's like, dumbass, stay the course.
I know, it's so
There's only a few tight ends that didn't have to go with. Mark Andrews is one. You didn't really have to wait till year 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like you'll have to do that with Pitts, right? When they come back off the bye. But it's so few and far between. Even Kelsey, wasn't it year 1, right? It's tight end is a weird position that way.
It's so frustrating to me with Knox because I was so into Knox last year. Like, I had him in tons of leagues last year because I looked at him. I was like, all right, he's athletic. He didn't produce for shit in college, but I mean, he played behind AJ Brown and DK Metcalf. Yeah. So good luck. You know, like if you're
fight them the breakout rating and the breakout score and stuff for tight ends, Dawson Knox would be top 10 all time in my opinion, next to a lot of other guys from Miami. But
wow,
I mean, Dawson Knox, he would be.
I just remember looking at it last year. I was like, all right, he drops some passes, whatever. He's raw as hell.
Yeah.
But I was just like, he's got the athleticism and he's got a production profile that I just frankly don't even need to read because like if you're a tight end on a team quarterbacked by Jordan Ta'amu throwing to DK Metcalf and AJ Brown, like you're not the focal point. So like you get to be number 3. So and Elijah Moore on that team too.
And Elijah Moore,
so you're like number 4. So it's like, all right, whatever. Like I don't even care. You didn't produce, whatever. Why would I throw the ball to Dawson Knox if I can throw to DK and AJ and I'm Jordan Ta'amu? So it's like, all right, whatever. Throwing that aside. And then last year he just sucked so hard. I was like, all right, I don't know if they're going to give him another opportunity at this. And then when they cut Hollister, I started jamming him in best ball drafts. It's like, okay, actually he might run all the routes. And it's been better than you've ever seen. The biggest difference with the Bills, I did a thread on the usage changes, is that last year they played 10 personnel on about 40% of the snaps. So 40% of the snaps, they wouldn't even have a tight end out there, or at least 40% of the routes. And this year, they're not doing that at all. Knox is playing every snap. Diggs and Sanders play pretty much every snap. Beasley rotates in, and Gabe Davis, who? Not even around.
Hey.
So I mean, look, I hope he gets there at some point, but he's not part of the offense right now. I'm just saying the way they're running right now. So Knox is a great one.
I just want to shout out Coach Donald. Look like Donald again. I mean, you can hate him all you want and not have him, but you're going to tell me that that's going to be his case all season long. You're just lagging behind the game, Coach. I expect better.
This is the
every
best.
quarter. You don't have him to put up 35 every week. He's going to have bad games. That's part of the gimmick with Darnold, but give me him over a lot of other quarterbacks in this league on that offense. So I'll hit you up.
And yet Jordan Tom, who throw only 19 touchdowns. Yeah, he's not very good.
Bro, the best part about this Dawson Knox thing is he didn't have a single receiving touchdown in college, period. And now this year it's 4 straight games. Like what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I admit I look really bad with my oh, Coach, don't even at me with that, bruh.
No, can we stop this? Can we stop this? We need to stop treating every quarterback's pass attempt like it's a Supreme Court case. Like what we're doing to these young quarterbacks is cruel and unusual. Like we need to just watch Jalen Hurts play a football game without having a referendum on every passing attempt. Oh, did he miss it by 5 feet? He's a bust. Oh, that's a good one over the middle. He's a franchise quarterback. Sam Darnold. Oh man, he had a great game the other week. Look at this. He's the franchise guy. Lock him in your lineup till 2028. Oh shoot, he played bad against the Eagles. Trade him tomorrow. Like I cannot take the weather vane nature of people for these young quarterbacks where every single pass, it's like a case just came down from the fucking Supreme Court and we rewrote the laws of nature around what these young quarterbacks are capable of. It drives me insane.
It's like
I cannot take it anymore.
It's like assuming that quarterbacks can't have a bad game in the season.
Right.
Like you're taking one bad game.
No one cares because he's proven, but these unproven guys, it's like
it's a process I feel like people have where it's reactionary, right? To the point where a quarterback has a bad game and all of a sudden all the work they've already done doesn't matter. And there are a lot of quarterbacks like Peyton Manning where if they were out today with how we treat quarterbacks, wouldn't be around very long. Same with my favorite one. My favorite one. You can go, Cody. Yeah, do your thing.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Trust me, we can talk about this, Jacob and I, all day.
Oh yeah.
Look, it's like look at Ben Roethlisberger's first 4 years in the NFL. If he came out today, he would have been done.
And look at his last 4 years in the NFL.
Right. Yeah. When he doesn't have AB, it really makes a difference, right? But you look at it that way. So the way we judge quarterbacks, I am happier to have traded for Sam Darnold all offseason for what he's done. Like he's the quarterback 9 on the year on standard 4-point, touchdown pass leagues, your bonuses. And I know, hey, there's leagues. Oh yeah. Well, in my league, he's quarterback 55. I don't care about that, right? I don't care. I care about a guy who I can put in my super flex lineups.
Are the absolute
exactly
worst people.
Brett Favre would have been done in the NFL after 100%. He would have.
I swear, dude. If I ever have another
all love, Coach,
reply to any of my quarterback in fantasy, especially with Hurts, because Hurts is obviously he does a lot better in standard scoring formats than point per completion leagues or ones that penalize you for completion, whatever, all that stuff. Look, if I'm giving a take on a dude, it's for normal fucking leagues, okay? Normal fucking leagues where we count touchdowns for 4 or 6, rushing gets 6, you get points, you get 1 point every 25 passing yards, and then you lose some points if you throw a pick or you fumble. That's it, okay? That's it. If you play in some janky-ass league with point per completion or point per incompletion or, I don't know, point per clipboard attempt, whatever. If you play in some janky-ass scoring league, my takes don't apply to you.
Yeah.
So shut up.
It
drives me absolutely up a tree. People are like, yeah, but in my league, the scoring settings are actually this guy is the QB 18 instead of the QB 13.
Well,
so have you no.
In my league, when the tectonic plates align correctly and all the planets are aligned, he's the quarterback 5. So you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Jacob.
It drives me nuts. Know your own scoring settings. Do your own work.
No, I love that
effort.
Too. No, it's a good point, right? So if you were a point per completion is the worst. Yeah,
I don't even mind point per completion, but just if you play point per completion, don't expect my advice to apply to you.
Right, or at least make the adjustment for yourself.
Make
Take
your own
the theory,
adjustments, right? It's not
Exactly.
hard.
take the theory and apply it
Yeah.
on your own. Look, we got one more player to get through
Mhm.
now that we're ready to go, and I don't really think anybody should be surprised at who I'm gonna pick because I've been waiting for this moment for what seems like my entire life. And it's this bad man. I'm so sorry, Jacob, for what you have to witness while we watch this. I'm not actually.
Outta here.
Yeah. I'm not actually sorry. I've been waiting for this all week. Obviously,
Oh.
everyone should know by now that I am the Lamar Jackson guy, right? He's finally passing the ball. Jacob's covering
I can't
his
watch
eyes.
this fucking game. I can't do it.
He's finally passing the ball, right? The way that we wanted him to, or at least the way that I wanted him to. I think the rest of the league wanted him to stay away from the whole passing game or learning how to do it. But he's doing it in a way that's different, right? So we've seen the big games out of Lamar Jackson before. We've seen he's not afraid to throw the ball deep. We've seen that before. What he refused to do, I loved that throw there.
That was a fucking throw
to Watkins. I like that it's check downs. And I know it. Look, I understand. I get it. It was, well, people are hurt. That one was a bad miss. He's got to complete that.
Well, that's a tough throw to make, though. Those last two were
It
tough.
is.
That sideline ball to
100%.
Andrews, like those got to have touch, and just seeing him have that touch
Right there.
That's
so you
everything.
see, he drops back and he has Mark Andrews standing wide open, and he looks that off and he goes to the middle of the field. Like that's wide open, wants to go in between defenders, middle of the field. That's what I want to see. The thing that I was the most impressed with that I had been screaming about, and it also kind of makes me sad as well, is he's checking it down to running backs. Like I think there's 12 targets to the running backs in that game. Instead of forcing that ball into double
Devontae
coverage,
Freeman those PPR points.
and he looked good doing it. That's the thing. So he's checking his levels. Some of these throws are not great, but I mean, you're gonna expect him to make some pretty bad. That's a horrible decision, right? Tons of green in front of him, and he's trying to throw it, which that's fine. But look, 26.8 fantasy points per game. I got this correct this time. Trust. Number 5 in passing yards, right? Number 1 in air yards. Number 3 in accuracy.
That call was shit, by the way.
Rating 73.7% true completion. It was. But all it would have done was just giving the Ravens the ball faster. So
yeah,
whatever.
I know.
27 deep attempts, 48.1% deep ball completion. That's 5th. Okay. 9.1 yards per attempt and 11 on the ADOT. He has a true passer rating of 103.5, good for 10th. What more do you want from this guy? And oh yeah, by the way, number 1 in attempts for a quarterback, number 1 in yards, and number 2 in touchdowns to Sam Darnold. By the way, everybody, he is improving at a rate from his 2020 seasons, an accuracy rating of 28th in 2020. His yards per attempt were 17th, 25th in true completion, 23rd in deep ball, right? 14th in true passer rating, 10th in total QBR. Now, is all of this a little bit hyped up because of the never done before efficiency on Monday? Probably. But even before this, he was improving. Jacob, you've moved him up. I saw it.
Yeah,
I noted it. He's number
Mahomes.
2.
Only behind Mahomes.
Right. Is this what you personally have been waiting for to see out of Jackson, that he could do this? Or do you think, look at these check
love Lamar,
downs.
man.
These are good
Lamar was my
decisions.
QB1 this year in redraft, so I'm all aboard Lamar. He's my favorite player to watch football in the NFL, possibly ever. I wish that for someone who supported him so consistently over the years, he wouldn't have felt the need to ruin my life on national television.
That's
such
a bad
personal
decision.
attack. Maybe he would be QB1 for me in Dynasty if he didn't have to do that against the Colts, and especially it's just me.
Back.
I actually cried after that game. Like I was so upset emotionally that like actual tears were shed. But Lamar's the best. He's the GOAT, and it's great to see Lamar doing good stuff. We got to do these picks here. We're lagging a touch.
We're gonna get there. Don't worry. You're gonna watch the whole video. Cody, is Lamar Jackson descended to that spot for you Here's the real question. Do you trust him to be able to throw the ball like this regularly, or do you think this was a one-off? Remember how many of their players are on IR as well. To me, that's big.
Yeah, I don't think it's a one-off. I just think it's one of those things where, and we've seen it before, like he hasn't needed to kind of do this. Like he did it last year against Cleveland where they, he had the little go to the bathroom thing and come back, and then he turned it on. And he had like these weird games where that happens, and then he has a career game, but he doesn't usually need it. So we're not accustomed to it. And maybe like you mentioned before, the defense being as bad as they are, we're going to see this more, which obviously for fantasy we'd love because he's got the Konami factor already. And I don't know. I had him, like you said, Jacob, number 1 in redraft this season, just because I like the situation he was in. That was with accounting for Dobbins and Bateman and everything like that. But Dobbins isn't there and Bateman isn't there. And he's still, QB3 right now. So I think he's taken that next step. But again, I think there's more. There's more. He doesn't have Josh Allen's. Like Josh Allen grew, I think, even more from his year, 2 to 3 or 1 to 2, whatever it was. I don't think Lamar's taken quite that big of a step. I think there's still more he can uncover, and I think there's more he can grow with. So I'm here for that 100%. But I want to see it more. I want to see it more before I'm 100% in for Dynasty, for example.
That's fair. I think some of the big things for me are the I want to get back to it here. It was right here, but he's progressing through his reads in a way that I've never seen him do before.
Yeah,
he's in the pocket. He's not looking to run immediately, right? Where he's just waiting. To me, that's the biggest improvement. He's not forcing the ball. Look, Lamar Jackson's going to throw interceptions. I think that we all have to be okay with that. The fumbles this year are wild. He needs to really cut that shit out because my heart can't take it. But to me, he's here, right? This is the Lamar Jackson. He's here. The offense is going to expand. To me, what worries me the most is Greg fucking Roman. He terrifies me as a coordinator. He's the most aggravating coordinator I've ever experienced in my football life. But I digress. Big win for the Ravens. Shout out to them. We're just going to watch the end of this game real quick just to put the real capper on it. Jacob, what happened with the picks last week for you? I wasn't there.
Yeah,
Tommy T was a little bit day drunk.
I crushed Billy so hard that he didn't even show up for the show today. He was so embarrassed that he lost by 31 points that he decided that the show was no longer an appropriate venue for him to come around. So goodbye, Billy. It was a nice era of him beating me for 4 straight weeks, but we finally came back. We came back in a big way. So I'm ready to give it. I'm ready to give it all full tilt here in week 6.
Okay, so look, the record right now is 4-1-0. I haven't got a win because I missed last week. I've been really bad at this, so we're going to try to turn this around. Cody, what we do on the Full Tilt Dynasty podcast is each member picks a quarterback, a running back, wide receiver, tight end. The quarterback has to be out of the top 15, RB 18, wide receiver 24, and the tight end 8. And we accumulate those points for the victor at the end of the year. We haven't quite figured out what we're winning yet, but I think we're going to figure that out. Yeah.
And Cody, feel free if you want to give some names, give some names. If you don't, that's all good. If you just want to make fun of our picks, that works too.
Okay, so we're going to start off.
I'll throw some in there.
Last week, Billy went with Fields, Mike Davis, Beasley, and Goddard. He totaled a grand total of 30.14 PPR points. Jacob, you went with Trevor Lawrence, Fournette, your boy, A-Rob, that's rough,
my boy,
and Ingram for a 61.42 win. Congratulations. I want to start with Billy's
winning on the back of Leonard Fournette.
So Billy not being here, heavily focused and dedicated to his schooling and his masters and all that fun stuff. You smart man. We're going to get your picks. I'm going to just shout them out here real quick. Billy is going Wentz at quarterback, Moss at running back, Pittman at wide receiver, and Dan Arnold at tight end. The only disadvantage to Billy doing our show sheets on this show is that he always gets first crack at the players. So it is his advantage, but we can overcome this. Jacob, did I just see the name? Who you got starting at quarterback? Because I love
he's ranked too dang high. I can't even take him. Here's the thing. I came in here ready to do Wentz, and I didn't realize that Billy, being the guy that he is, already went and took Wentz. So now I have to do a different guy. I have to do it on the fly. Apparently Heineke's ranked in the top 15, which he should be. So I'm going to do this live. He put up 42 points last week. Nobody even noticed because Justin Herbert did so much more. He's playing in a really high over-under game. I know the last time that I picked this guy on the show, it turned out very poorly for me, but I'm going to give it one more run at Baker Mayfield, playing in a really fun back and forth environment. I'm not picking Beckham this week. You couldn't pay me to do it. But I do think they're going to find a way to get that squeaky wheel some grease, and they're going to have to go back and forth. It's going to be a fun game. Baker Mayfield, because Billy stole Wentz from me.
I just can't do. I think I'm finally done with Baker in fantasy. I think I'm finally fully done. I've seen enough.
He was good last week.
For me, look, the quarterback is pretty simple for me this week. I kind of cheated. I took number 16, right? I took Ryan Tannehill. He's got Julio back. AJ Brown is back. The band is back together. Decent enough matchup for me to put up more points than Wentz, who I think had a career day, if I'm not mistaken, on Monday. Don't expect that to repeat because he's not going to get a 75-yard touchdown from Taylor every week to really help bolster those stats. But I'm going with Ryan Tannehill. Cody, I see you looking and reading. Who are you gonna pull? And I'm actually gonna keep this on record so we can shout it out.
Well, let's do it. I'll be back in the chat next week, so I want to see the scoring next week. So
That's what's up.
I'm gonna go to the nut bottom. I'm not looking at the Fantasy Pros rankings, but I'm looking at the ESPN rankings, and I'm guessing he's the same spot. Jared Goff.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry. He's not in the top 15. You're good.
I'm going Jared Goff at home against Cincinnati. Week 1, he was QB number 3 against San Francisco. 338 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. I know Quintez is out. Hawkinson's still going to play. Swift is there. If Jamal's out, Swift is going to get even more. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Who knows? They might bring up Sage Surratt or some dumb shit. I think Goff's.
Is that where Sage Surratt's at? I didn't even know where he was playing.
I don't even know. I remember he was there for a while.
On the Lions?
He might have got cut. I don't even remember, dude. But,
I love it. I love that.
Hey, man, he struggled against Minnesota and Baltimore, but he's had 16, 19, and 29 against Chicago, Green Bay, and San Fran. He gets Cincy. Cincy is chintzy. And, yeah, so they just picked up Trey Flowers as if he's going to do anything to help them. Trey Waynes went to IR, so give me some JG this week.
100%. I actually like that pick. For me at running back, I'm gonna go Khalil Herbert because Damian Williams is sick.
Let's go.
He's got the COVID, which really sucks. He opted out last year for this reason.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an unfortunate situation. But I am gonna try to reap the benefits. He looked good in his touches. He's earned more touches. He's an athlete, right? I think he was a 4.4 guy. An athlete. He can catch the
fast enough.
He can catch the ball. He gets to the outside. I think they're going to need him and lean on him. So I'm going to go Herbert to give me an advantage. Jakob, your pick here. It's not sexy, but.
No, it's not. I love the Juice Herbert call. Man, trying to find a running back outside the top 24 is becoming a very depressing endeavor these days. But let me go. I'm just going to stick with the high total games and kind of hope to get lucky. No game has a higher total on the slate than Kansas City versus the Washington football team.
Fair.
I expect the football team to put themselves down in a hole because Heineke's going to do the Heineke special, which is he's going to throw a very ill-advised interception early in this game. He's going to get them behind by 2 touchdowns. Then he's going to run around. He's going to make some plays. He's going to have a QB1 fantasy week. And if they do get behind, then that means it's going to be less of the shin fracture Antonio Gibson. And unfortunately, for people like me who love Gibson, more and more and more of Arkansas State's J.D. McKissick. So McKissick's going to be out there. He's probably going to play half the snaps. I think he's going to get like 10 targets because Kansas City's secondary is trash. So they're going to put as many dudes back there to help Sorensen know which way is which as possible, leaving plenty of room for Heineke to dump it off to J.D. McKissick. That's my RB pick this week.
Did you see the Tyrann Mathieu stuff about Sorensen this week? Like he had posted on Twitter, Tyrann Mathieu posted on Twitter, and then somebody took it and they're like, I can't remember whose video it was. I really wish I did because they deserve.
It was a good video though,
where they took the footage of the game of him doing this, and then he just posted the tweet. Oh my god, it was so good. Cody, who's your running back outside of the top 18 that you're smashing this week for this comp?
Is Javonte out to the top 18 on fantasy?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going Javonte. We've been waiting for this all year. Melvin Gordon to come down with an injury. He's been limited this week with a hip injury, and they get Vegas. Vegas dealing with what the hell they're dealing with. Give me Javonte going for a hundo this week. I love me some Javonte. That feels like easy.
Vegas didn't even look competitive.
He's right at 18.
Like, they just looked so
give it to you. He's right at 18. But we'll give it to you.
He's at 22 on ESPN.
That's fine. You can have him.
And it's J Will, who's my RB1 in the class. So I'm always gonna toot that horn. Look, my wide receiver, he's healthy. He's back. They're gonna have to score some points. It's T. Higgins. I think he's gonna come in, and I think he's gonna blow it up this week. I think that coverage is gonna shift to Jamar Chase. I think Tyler Boyd is just a jag. I think he'll lose the targets to a healthy T. Higgins. So for me, pretty easy play here, honestly, out of the top 24 at wide receiver. Jakob, who do you got?
Look, I don't know if anybody watched the Monday night game. I think some people peeked in. They saw the Ravens and the Colts play, and there was a dude that was playing for the Colts named Bo Pete's Keys. That's how banged up the Colts secondary is that they play a dude named Bo Pete's Keys. I can promise you that Brandon Cooks, if he lines up against Bo Pete's Keys, is not going to have a lot of trouble burning him for a long one. Josh Larkey, a.k.a. Davis Mills, had a pretty nice coming out party against the New England Patriots. I don't think that the Colts have any hope of covering anyone anytime soon. I think Brandon Cooks is going to do whatever he wants against his secondary, and he might get over 100 yards in this spot. I think the Colts win this game, but I don't think Cooks is going to have any issue getting on the fantasy stat sheet against Bo Peep.
So real quick before Cody, give us yours, and we're going to address this statement right here.
Outside the top 24
at wide,
I'm going Robbie Anderson against the Vikings.
Oh, that makes me want to barf.
I know.
I hate him so much because all off season, like I like your pick of him, right? If you're gonna swing for a guy, that he's the one.
Oh, you're picking Robbie.
But after all of there was like a DJ Moore could finish 4th on his team in targets thing. There's a Anderson took over DJ Moore's role. After all that, at that point, I just started completely shitting on him.
He said, "You're picking Robbie." No, dude, I'm going to the game, so I'm like, I need to jam somebody in here that I gotta watch. I'm like, fuck, I know Vikings are gonna give something up, and Breeland on Robbie, give me some, I guess 150.
So what we're gonna do, Andrew, we're gonna get to your question. We're gonna finish the tight ends first, so we can just cut that. Then we'll get to that in a minute. I swear. Thanks for hanging in. You've actually been a goat here. Tight end is not a fun position to try to play this game with. Outside of the top 8 it's bleak. So we really gotta dig deep, and for me it's Schultz, right? The guy has been a top tier player. The matchup's not as fun, but I'm just hoping he puts up a touchdown or 5 catches, or just kind of been how he's been. Jacob, what you got?
Art?
Oh no,
Art finally back from the dead. I remember when this dude first broke out with Arizona. I picked him up off all the waivers. I was so excited. I mean, I'll do anything for an athletic tight end with a receiver background, especially when they have a hyphenated last name. I'm always a sucker for a hyphenated last name. Give me Ricky Seals-Jones. I don't understand what Washington football team is all about, but they're absolutely obsessed with playing a tight end on every single route and targeting him relentlessly. It doesn't matter who it is. Like Logan Thomas was a quarterback, and they're like, nope, you're the tight end. You're going to get 25% of the targets. You're going to run every route. Well, Ricky Seals-Jones, he failed everywhere else. Doesn't matter. You're fucking Kelsey now. The Washington football team doesn't care. They just target that position so relentlessly with this offensive scheme that whoever they put in there, I'm starting. Seals-Jones ran every single route but one last week, and he had 8 targets, and now they're going to play from behind all week against Kansas City. I legitimately think he's probably going to see 10 targets this week in this game, and he probably won't do a whole lot with it, but he's a little bit athletic. He's a little bit interesting. I think you can feel very confident starting Ricky Seals-Jones.
And the revenge game narrative from Coach Craig here. Always important to remember those narratives. Go down the narrative
stashed
street.
him on so many dynasty rosters last year when he was in Kansas City, just waiting to see if maybe Kelsey would get injured and he'd have a chance to play with Mahomes, because I really, really believe that this dude can actually play a little bit. And I'm actually so excited for Ricky this week.
Cody, your tight end. I know it's dark out there, but who you got?
One sec. Let me. How's that work? Is that orange? We're going. Cole Kmet.
I like it.
Oh,
Cole
baby.
Kmet.
Oh, I love
Orange,
that.
is it orange and blue. Orange
I
and
gotta,
blue.
I
Chicago
gotta
Bears?
start doing that. I gotta start
That's nice.
changing
I'm
my
going-
shit around from.
I'm
the
going
picks
Cole
here.
Kmet this week. Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney have been on the injury report all week. I've been riding this Cole Kmet thing for a minute, and he just hasn't hit. I'm just keep banging. He's coming. He's gonna have some connection with Fields. They're gonna do something.
It'll be there.
Give me it this week. Let's go, Cole Kmet.
I love that. Quick rundown. I'm rolling out Tannehill, Khalil Herbert, T. Higgins, Dalton Schultz, Jacob Scott, Tay Heineke, J.D. McKissick.
No, I got Baker.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah, I just switched it.
Baker, McKissick, Cooks, Ricky Seals, Jones, Billy, Wentz, Moss, Pittman, Arnold. I actually like that lineup a lot. And Cody with he's chipping in here, putting it on the line. Goff, Jay Will, Robbie A, and Cole Kmet. Before we ride on out of here, Cliff Kingsbury has been ruled out from the game this weekend due to COVID. Do we think this matters for Arizona, or do you think it's just going to be status quo? Calling the game from home isolated.
Dude, Kingsbury sucks. I don't care. Get him out of there. I don't even know who's their OC. Cody, do you even know who's their OC now? Like, who will be called?
Arizona?
Yeah.
I remember a time when I hated Cliff Kingsbury going to Arizona, and Jacob and Austin, if you're listening,
I know.
we're like, he's going to be amazing. He's the GOAT. And I was like, no, he's not. And now you're like, oh, he sucks.
But I thought he'd be fun for the offense. I at least thought he would be like, I didn't think he'd be a good, like, real life coach necessarily because his defenses have always been trash. But I thought he would at least be pretty innovative at offense. And I mean, they've looked better this year, to be fair.
They don't have a offensive coordinator. They have a run game coordinator, a defensive coordinator, and then an assistant to the head coach, which is Jeff Rogers. I don't know who the fuck that is.
That's a fake name.
Team. He's a special teams coordinator, the assistant head coach, and then this other guy's a run.
I'm gonna guess it'll be the run game coordinator. Then I think that's
the run game coordinator is Sean Kugler, and he's also the offensive line coach.
So that's
calling plays, isn't it?
If I'm gonna guess, he's
Vance Joseph has coaching experience. He's the D coordinator. So maybe
right, but I mean, for fantasy wise, like the thing I care most about is who's calling the offensive plays, and I'm assuming that's going to be Kugler.
Has to be.
They're going to be running the ball, baby. Looks like it's a James Conner week.
Oh God,
Great.
That's never a fun time.
Weeks.
Look, guys,
I wait for Conner to have 15 carries for 39 yards and 2 touchdowns again. It's the worst.
I just want to have a big shout out to everyone for hanging in here in the chat. Andrew, you've been dope. Coach Craig, nice to see you. Obviously, all the boys and gals that have stopped in, said, hey, we thank all you. And Cody, you've been the shit, man. It's been a great time. Definitely going to have to bring you back, especially such on short notice. Feel free. Let them know what you have. I know you just dropped something out there for Trophy Smack. So let them know what's up, where is that at, and what you got going.
So you can catch me on Twitter at Carpentier NFL. I got a lot going on at Player Profiler right now. It's no longer Roto Underworld. We're rebranding to playerprofiler.com. So peep that. Patreon.com/Carpentier NFL. You can find all my stuff, props, bets, rankings, etc. Also Cody Carpentier on YouTube. And then, like you just said, Trophy Smack. You can go over to Trophy Smack, use Cody60. You get a free championship ring for your league with any purchase. And then also, exactly right there. You got it on your hand right there. That's what you get for free. Cody60, TrophySmack.com. Appreciate you guys having me on, though. This is a good-ass time, Friday night, chilling, relaxing, talking ball.
That's how we like to do it, man. Big ups to you. Jacob, I know you just dropped your ranks. What else do you got?
Yeah, man, the ranks are out. It's always sketchy running ranks out on Twitter, but our website's been peeled back a little bit for now, so that's where you can find them. Look, frankly, I don't ever want to do ranks. People want the ranks. You can sort through the shit on Twitter. I also dropped my regular podcast, off course, with Chase and with Shane on Wednesday. I'll be doing no free squares tomorrow. I know we took a week hiatus last week during Canadian Thanksgiving. I'll be back tomorrow to talk DFS at 6 Eastern, 5 Central, 3 Pacific. And then Pareto Principles, I'm writing it this week. It's just we switched up the schedule a little bit over a Player Profiler, so that will be out tomorrow. And in fact, it's nice because instead of having to rush it when I don't even know who's going to play, I actually get to wait for the injury reports before I have to write the article. So as soon as I click off of this, I'm going to go ahead and write that up, and we'll get that out to you tomorrow before you set your DFS lineups. Otherwise, come find me on Twitter, FF_RTDB, and looking forward to watching football with you all on Sunday.
100%. As I always have to say, If you like what you heard on the show, you got to let us know. If you didn't like what you heard on the show, well, you definitely got us know. You can definitely hit us up over there. Look, you may not be able to get to the website right now. As Jacob said, we're peeling it back. It's got a little work to do, but you can definitely still hit me up and or find Patrick, the HR Alpaca, who is still chilling here all the time off to the side here. Look, love, respect, and appreciation is what we care about here. Look, there's a ton of great sites out there to get all the fantasy football information that you need. We're just happy you guys all chill with us on Friday to really let go of what had happened in the week previous. Look, I'm really excited for this week of football. I'm really jazzed up for everything that we got going on over there at Trophy Smack. You can find my graphics and a few articles over there. The Dynasty Vipers Network. Again, shout out to them for giving us a host network. And of course, my other work with Fantasy Intervention. I always want to say the same couple of things every week, and I'm going to keep doing it. The news this week, didn't really want to talk about it too much, but it all comes based off the same thing we preach on this show every fucking week. Be kind, be good, check in on your friends and your loved ones, because you never know. With that being said, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose, and remember that the best days are spent tilting. Good night, everyone. Enjoy your week. Ciao for now.
This isn't flying, this is falling with style.